Go ahead.
Yeah,
and
so,
officer, can you ID yourself, please?
Yeah, officer
Name and badge number.
3629.
Got it. Name and badge number.
Officer Alcorn,
That's
badge
what's up.
3631.
Let's do that. Let's start that. Let's enhance. Let's change that. Hate when it does that though. Like when it has that on it. Let me see. There we go. I like that position better. All right, we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna run through it. Because I think it's kind of, some of it's redundant because like I said, there's no way in the world people should be acting like they don't know what the hell, like they don't get it. If you don't get it, it's by choice. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't understand what I'm about to talk about right now because you didn't watch the video, if you got a different understanding when you watch the video, it's by choice. That's it. Like it is literally by choice that I have to break this stuff down. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna talk about it because it's, like I said, it's one of those things where I shouldn't have to. Like I made it very clear in the conversation, in the video, made it very clear, like very, very clear. And people act like they don't know what I was talking about. And they ask some of the craziest questions. I'll be fielding any questions that y'all have. Y'all can ask me on YouTube. The questions go by so fast on TikTok and IG and all these other different joints. It's just they go by too quick. So let me do this. Let me pop this chat out. Pop this chat out so I can hear so I can see it without it consuming my screen. If you're on my YouTube, go ahead and say hello. I mean, just say hello anyway. Just be cordial. You know what I'm saying? I know a few of you are already here. Sassy, Latoya, Glow. I know y'all were here. Thanks, Elizabeth. I work out a little bit. Elizabeth said, you look great. Wow. How'd you expect me to look? Like, real talk. Like, how did you expect me to look? Girl, don't be, shoot. I guess Kim thought I was going to be looking crazy in this joint. Crazy in this joint. Anyway, so, excuse me. I'm sorry, TikTok, you'll only be able to hear a lot of the content. You won't be able to see it. On YouTube, they'll be able to see all the content that I'm about to discuss. Excuse the background noise if y'all hear anything. My house cleaners are here and they're cleaning. But let's get into it. There goes Sassy, I see you.
Yeah,
And
so,
officer, can you ID yourself, please?
yeah,
Name and badge number.
3629.
Got it. Name and badge number.
Officer Alcorn, badge 3166.
It's not a huge deal. They just don't want you to come back to Chick Fil A. All right.
So they're trespassing me from Chick Fil A?
From this Chick Fil A and the Chick Fil A located at 2530 San Diego.
And what was their reason for doing it?
Well, they stated.
Now he's about to say something. When they decided to quote unquote trespass me, I want everyone to understand. I have never been trespassed by Chick Fil A, ever. Even to this moment, I'm not. And so that's why it was a surprise to me when these officers said what they said. Let me continue. Listen to it. Listen. If I sound or look surprised, it's because I am. I didn't understand what was going on, and here's why.
It's uncomfortable. And I'm telling.
I understand that, but what I'm saying to you is this. The uncomfortableness is something that is new. I respect that, and I will curb my enthusiasm when it comes to doing the speech camp here.
I appreciate it.
Now, what I was saying to him was that it was something new. Like, this has never been, I appreciate that, Richard. This had never been a thing, ever, until recently. And it wasn't everyone, it was one. You know what I'm saying? Let me continue.
Yeah, I can understand that.
And curb means stop. Right, okay.
Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? But what it was again, to have done this for so long.
And when I say I had been doing this for so long, let me just take y'all back to the beginning. So what I do now is I just play a couple different things, a couple different instances where the Bam Cam and some of those other pranks originated from, because people don't understand, like, this had been going, I had been doing this stuff, and it's not something I was doing every day. It's not every time I showed up type of thing. There are several times where I just went and ordered food. And and it was very random, very spontaneous. And I think that's what was dope and fun for everybody, is that it was very spontaneous. It was never planned out. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go and have this experience. It was never that. And so in doing so, that's what makes this situation really, really awkward, is that there were conversations about it being made out to be malicious. If y'all saw the laughter and the energy that these kids had, that was what was one of the driving forces. And initially it started because one of the I had an experience there where I went and it was like I was talking to a computer. You know what I'm saying? It was like the experience became very redundant. They didn't look up, and I'm sure a few of you experience this now. They very, very rarely acknowledge you. They very rarely look at you, and pay attention to you and stuff. And that broke the ice. You know what I'm saying? It made the energy change, and then they became human again. And I thought that was something that we could, that we would all appreciate, and they did. They really appreciated the fact that we had a real human interaction at that point. I don't know why. I don't know what the policy is or what they teach them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if they tell them, just be this robot or whatnot. And that's what it felt like. And then I became Mr. Reynolds. You know what I'm saying? Then it became, hey, Mr. Reynolds. That's all the way up until the very last situation. The very last situation, you know what? If I'm upset about anything, as well as, the treatment of my daughter and I, what up, Lady Kiki? I'm so disappointed that the owner and the manager would get that kid involved. Like, that kid is really a good kid. The kid that's standing next to the manager at the end, really good kid, man. And I don't think he knew. I can tell by the way his behavior that night that something was off. And he seemed very, very just all over the place. And that's very unusual for him. You know what I'm saying? But I can understand that he was being manipulated by the owner and the manager into, first off, identifying who I was. Because usually when I go through the drive-thru, I stop using my real name going through the drive-thru. I stopped using my real name because I felt like, and I didn't mention this to anybody but probably my girls or whatever, but I felt like they were giving me old, I think I'm crazy. I thought they were giving me old fries. Like, I thought that whenever I used my name, they were giving me old fries. I know they were giving me old fries. I just didn't know if it was like, these are the fries that are left, or this is how they cook the fries that day or whatever. So once I started changing my name and coming through the drive-thru, well, it was too late. My food was already bagged up, and I would get it and it would be good fries. You know what I'm saying? And it only really happened when that young lady was working there that put this whole thing in motion. But when so I just started changing my name. I would change it to funny names, like a pimp named Slickback. I would change it to, y'all can see in a couple of videos, I just changed my name. Somebody brought up the fact that they said I was trying to get them to say the N-word. But I actually was having them say, it's an African country called Negus, and which means king. And, so the fact that people were trying to, were trying, even in the comments, were trying to change something for their own spin, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to, break this whole thing down so that people couldn't spin it. But I'm at the point now where I realize that it doesn't matter what you say or what you do, that people are going to develop their own opinion, and they're not going to accept the truth for what it is. Like, if you watch the video, it's all truthful. Like, I wasn't dishonest in any part of it. I was very actually transparent and forthcoming. What up, Tashi? Like, I actually sat there and told the guy, yeah, one of your, what I didn't say, what I left out when I told him that one of his managers had asked me to stop, is that manager was in a couple videos cracking up. So I didn't take him seriously, even when he was telling me that day. You know what I'm saying? He didn't pull me to the side. He didn't say, hey, Mr. Reynolds, can you pull around? I just need to have a conversation with you real quick. He didn't do any of that. He was in the window cracking up. So I felt like, you know what I'm saying? I felt like, yo, this can't be, this ain't real. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't mean it. And even though, like I said, I didn't do it and this is how I know. And if you got to be a faithful person to understand this whole situation was navigated by God. You know what I mean? This whole situation was navigated by God. Because let me tell you how this works. The Bam Cam is the only time where I can see the person I'm going to prank. The Screech Cam, I have no idea who's going to be at the window. When he told me to chill out, I chilled out for a couple weeks. It was like 3 weeks. Although I had been going there, I've been going there. My girl's like eating there. And this particular day, I just decided to screech. And how crazy is it that this young girl is on the window and she's the one that has the attitude and all that. She just happens to be at the window the one day that I do it when you know what I'm saying? And that is what brought the other situations into play. Now, I can tell you that clearly this must be something that has to be managed with the owner, because like when I say that, I mean, because of the way he handled this, it makes me say that there's something that God wants him to know or wants him to adjust or change, because it couldn't have been. I could never have planned any of this. I could not have planned for him to pull me aside, which I thought was very rude, and I didn't really bug out. If y'all watch the exchange that we have when it's him and I don't know if that's his wife or if that's another manager or whatnot, but when they pull me to the side and we have the conversation and the handshake agreement, if you listen to the way that I'm communicating with him, I'm pretty chill. I'm not upset that like, yo, this ain't the place or time to do this. I was at a kid's function when this happened. I really could have. I could have made the moment that people, expect black people to make in those instances, but I didn't. I just was like, you know what? Listen, man, it was a big misunderstanding anyway. And so the only way you can diffuse misunderstandings, especially when somebody's coming at you aggressive, is just to say, man, hey, look, we got our lines crossed. I have never meant anything malicious towards these kids since this place has been here. I only wanted the energy to be up and the atmosphere to be dope, and it was. But now you've hired some individuals who don't have the same kind of sense of humor. So I respectfully bow out. You ain't got to worry about me doing it no more. We shook on it. Now that agreement to this day, that agreement had stood, since August of 2020. I felt good about it. I had been to both. I hadn't gone to this other location, so I got banned from 2 locations. But I never really went to the second location. Like I was never, ever, really, ever at the other one. And the only reason why I ended up having to go to the other one, which is, not too far down the road, was because his location, the main location that's closest to me, was doing renovations. And so because they were doing renovations, I would go to the other one. And nothing, no incidents ever at the other joint. You know what I'm saying? Like no incidents that was bugged out. And so I didn't understand when they came and approached me and was like, yo, you're being trespassed and all that. It didn't make sense to me. And then again, he did it knowing that my daughter was with me. And that's probably, if there was some anger, if y'all saw me vexed, it's because I understand the impressions that you make on kids. And that was probably part of it too, man. These kids, check this out, man. Do you know that our jobs as adults is multifaceted, but there's a part where, sweet, what up? Part of it is that you and I as adults, we cannot grow up. We should not grow up completely. You should not be such a stick in the mud that you forget that you had a sense of humor, that you had a past, that you've done some things, or you're going to be unrelatable to the youth. You're going to be unrelatable to the kids. That's what's up. Steal those moments, girl. We have a commission to not allow these kids to take life so serious, especially at such a young age. And our job is to educate them, help navigate them through what we've experienced, maybe differently, but come on, man. What I was experiencing was these kids were robots, and injecting the humor into their job and, breaking up the monotony of the day of cars just coming by, and, they enjoyed it. And when you watch the video, you see these kids cracking up. You don't see what I mentioned before, like in the comments, there were so many, if I read y'all some of these comments, man, y'all be like blown away, because the what if thing has always, I don't do the what if thing so much. Paulie, if you go look on YouTube, the whole video is there to help you understand what happened. It's a morality thing, man. That was, it's a treatment thing. It's a bunch of different levels to it. But the kids were great. Like, I don't want anybody thinking that the kids were, that the kids were bad. The kids were some of the best kids. And I said that in videos long before we even had before the owner ever pulled me over to the side. Like, I said, like, yo, these kids are some of the dopest kids because they have an amazing sense of humor. They have they enjoy laughing and having fun, and that was cool until one of the people there made it not cool. My full experience with them has been cracking jokes, and that's it. And somebody, they say, everybody's not gonna like your jokes and all that kind of stuff, and I'm like, that's cool. But man, don't you hate it when one person jacks it up for everybody else? What up, Enough? Don't be calling me stranger. I just needed a minute. You know what I'm saying? And plus I be traveling and stuff. So like, one of the things can I tell you, like, one of the things that shakes me up is when I travel and then I try to come back and get back in a groove. I'm such a mood person. I never realized that until I started trying to be really consistent at stuff. I'm a mood person. Like, everything gotta be right. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of the whole vibe has to be on point. And so I would hate to come to y'all and not be myself or be out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I have those delays. Yeah, and I did a video called that too, Sassy. How one apple spoiled a bunch. That would help people understand, like, yo, the kids loved it. You know what I'm saying? Alpharetta, why Alpharetta? There you go, Janet. Why Alpharetta? What's going on in Alpharetta? I'm traveling, like, I think Sunday, so I got a bunch of travel coming up. So I'm trying to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? And the reason being why it's such an issue for me is because I like using my setup. I like using this setup to communicate with y'all. And when I travel, I can't do that. It will require me to take equipment with me. Oh, you're going to visit fam. Okay, that's what's up. It would require me to take too much equipment with me. Like, I love my soundboard, so I can hit y'all with
I like this right here.
You know what I'm saying? So I can have that on deck. Because I know y'all like the way I be
Put some respect on my name.
Be kicking it or whatnot. And then I like my microphone. I like being able to talk into this microphone. I really feel like it. About 20 minutes maybe. Not far. 20 minutes at the top, something like that. I can get to Alpharetta in 20 minutes with limited, even with a little bit of traffic. There's a bunch of ways. It depends. Alpharetta's kind of deep too, so it just depends on where in Alpharetta, you know what I'm saying? Where in Alpharetta they live, but that's not too far from me at all. Definitely on the outskirts. That's definitely in the suburbs. So, yeah. How's everybody been doing? Enough about me. How y'all been doing? I was gonna do a thing, man. I was really gonna be quiet today and put up a thing that said, say something motivational and just bring people onto the live and let y'all say something motivational, either about your weekend or to each other. You know what I'm saying? They're all over, Dennis. But their main hub is in Atlanta, so I'm assuming it's all, they're all over. But you think for sure he lives like where he can walk to everything and there's a nice hotel area. When you say walk to everything, like if you say he can walk to the mall, then I kind of know the area. But I posted it. I posted the information on one of my other posts, Dennis. Sassy said she planning her retirement. That's what's up. Do we really retire though? Or should we retire or should we decide to do something else? From Virginia, I didn't know if it was Georgia or not. Yes, Georgia. All the way from the VA. Yeah. Like, what are you going to do next? Is a better thing, Sassy. What's next? But I'm doing a good local magazine, posting my interview. I'm excited. I will send it to you right now. Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. As soon as JJ and I contacted the corporate office and also took them to U.S. District Court. How did that turn out? There are some conversations to be had at the next level. I'm not, we just got to see what happens. And it's crazy because, you look at situations like these and you say it never should have happened. Like this situation is uncalled for. Like the Chick Fil A incident I went through, if it could have not happened, especially with my daughter there, I'd have been cool. Oh, that's what's up, Sassy. Sassy love the kids. But when I look at it, I'm like, yo, this is so unnecessary on so many levels. And then I say, if you're a faithful person, like if you're a person who understands how God works, then you really understand that I could never have planned for any of this. Ironically, on the night that we went to Chick Fil A, I was supposed to be taking her to Zaxby's. And instead of Zaxby's, she said she wanted Chick Fil A. How crazy is that? After her 4 hour, like she's 9 years old, so she gets what she wants. She gets what she wants. And so she asked, I was like, where you want to go? I said, I'm planning on going to Chick Fil A. And she was like, nope. I see it. I'm gonna click on it in a little bit. I see it. Positive mindset, life coaching. Yeah, it's so there's a Chick Fil A full video, Paulie, on my YouTube channel. That one kind of explains everything. But there's I can't remember if you were looking for. No, that was Dennis. I was looking for the locations. Those are on a clip that are on TikTok. Like if you go through the TikTok feed, especially the latest ones, there are a lot of answers and information there. Did the cleaners leave? Let me look. No, they still here. They're at the front door. Okay. But I could have never have planned it. You know what I'm saying? When you realize how circumstances come together in the way that they do, you realize like, yo, I could have never orchestrated this. And so for people who were like, yo, you're trying to do this, I was never trying to do anything. Like if you look at the timeline, if you watch the video, you will hear me say, I have not done a Screech or Bam Cam in 7 months. What in the world could I have been planning? What kind of masterminding am I doing? Excuse me. That I could have orchestrated them. So for the video that you guys are watching, this is what happened. She got out of dance at 8:05. I got to the Chick Fil A at about 8:10, right? I pull up. I order her a kid's meal because I don't really eat Chick Fil A like that. But I order her a kid's meal through the drive-thru. I never go in. Like I never go into the restaurant ever. So I order from the drive-thru. No incident. Nobody got bammed. No nothing. I actually use a fictitious name. I think I said Pap, P-A-P. You know what I mean? Thank you, Jasmine. And pull around, no incident, pull around, get to the window, and the young kid that you see in the video is probably only one of the people that recognize me. And yo, bro, it's an amazing in Georgia. I don't understand what that comment means, Cutter, but so she the kid recognizes me, and then he waits a minute and says, hey, can you, her nuggets need a few minutes. Can you pull over into the little waiting area? And I give these kids grief, you know what I'm saying? Out of fun, of course, all the time. And I'm like, nah, I can't pull over. And he's like, you're an amazing artist in Georgia. Oh, you have an amazing artist. Yeah, okay, I feel what you're saying. Yo, it's an amazing artist in Georgia that needs you. All right, DM me, man. Let me hear some of their stuff. Like, send me something that you think is a smash. So I give him a little, I razz the kid a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, I'm gonna park right here and wait, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just nuggets, right? That's funny. Joshua, you stupid. It is. Get off me, man. So That's a good one. So I reluctantly pull over, but I participate. I pull over to the waiting area, and there's a black truck sitting there too. As I'm sitting there, you know, me and my daughter are having a great conversation, not paying attention to anything. Time kind of goes by a little bit. And we see the black truck get its food and pull off. And I'm like, okay, cool. But when it comes to give the guy the food, the kid is running back. I'm like, hey, yo, what about, you know, it's Nuggets. What about us? And he goes in and he comes back and he brings me a gift card. He says, sorry, Mr. Reynolds, it'll just be a few minutes longer. I'm like, all right, cool. Not a big deal. Again, I trust this kid. Like, I know this kid. I know he means well. He's never been malicious. I've never been malicious. I just know this kid, you know, I just know he's being real awkward. Like, he's got an extra bounce in his step, like some weirdness. You know what I'm saying? But again, I am naive to it all because I have no idea what's going on. 15 minutes more go by, and I'm like, and me and my daughter are joking. I'm like, should I drive through the drive-thru again? Like, should I just loop around and do it again and order all over again? Because this don't make sense. I'm watching cars pull up, and it doesn't seem like there's a problem. Now, in between there was a white car that pulled up, and the white car got their food before we did. And I'm like, that don't make sense. So I drove around. Now, when I'm driving around the Chick Fil A, I see the police officers talking to the manager. But again, only guilty people think guilty thoughts. I didn't. I was like, whatever. I actually said to her, I wonder what's happening here. Something must have went down. Maybe that's what's helping. You know, maybe that's what's making it take so long. So I pull up into one of the waiting spots on that side of the building where you walk in. And as I was getting out, I start recording. I always record. I just do. Never know when you're going to need the footage. Never know when, you know what I'm saying? You never know when you're going to need to answer for something that you don't want to have to answer for. And there's I just have a stigma with people don't typically believe you. And that's just people. I'm not saying any color, none of that, or race or whatever. People just don't believe you. I don't know why people are so distrusting, but they are. So I said, you know what? I'm going to record as I always do. Like, I'm one of those people who records everything. If it doesn't turn out to be anything, I erase it. For instance, if I'm driving down the street and there's a police officer, and I meant to give you all this tip. If you're driving down the street and you should be using Waze. If you don't use Waze, use Waze. But if you're driving down the street and a police officer gets behind you, start recording. Now, record two things. Record on your phone, swipe down, press the record screen while your Waze is playing, and it will show you the speed limit that you're going, so that if you ever have to dispute it in court, well, I got Waze that said I was doing this amount of speed. So what is he talking about? One of the best things I could ever advise y'all to do. And then also I've got a GoPro hanging from my from my window in the front. And the reason being is because I've noticed the more that I record police officers, the less hassle I get. And when I say the less hassle, bro, I mean, most times they're like, yo, have a great day, Mr. Reynolds. Nobody wants to be recorded because they do this so much that they don't know if they're going to miss a step that's recorded in that video. And I compliment police officers. There's a video I got where I got pulled over by a police officer. I was dead wrong. And I had the video going though of it. And the video was clearly on him when he walked up to the car. He took my ID and stuff, saw that I had nothing, you know what I'm saying? No, Waze is the navigational app. You know, you have Google Maps and you have Google, whatever the one is for Google, and then you have Waze. Waze records your speed. It has your speed on it. So when you swipe down and record your screen, you can record the speed. Now, they can't argue that in court. They can't say you were doing some crazy speed or whatever. You were doing something, outrageous because it's caught on your Waze. But he pulled me over and he let me go. I can tell you, I've been let go from police officers more. No, it's WAZE. I've been let go more from police officers when I've been recording than when I haven't been. If you start remembering and understanding that your word is never going to trump the system, and I'm not saying the police officers, I'm saying the system. The system swears that there are no bad officers. I tend to disagree that they don't even have to be bad in the way like they're beating people down, but they could be bad as in they don't know the law. You know what I'm saying? That they don't know your rights and they try to trample over them as much as possible. So you should be recording for accountability. You don't have to, it may not turn out to be nothing. Like there are several times where I've recorded, like I've been on the highway. And if a police officer, I promise you, if a police officer pulls past me doing 80, 90 miles an hour and he doesn't have his lights on, then I'm doing 80, 90 miles an hour. And I dare them, in my mind, I'm daring them, pull me over if you want to. You're going to have to explain, and I'm going to say to them when they pull me over and say, well, my video camera, I got you going 80, 90 miles an hour without your emergency lights on. And I just figured if you can do that, if you can break the law, and you're one of the people who is out here enforcing it, well, who am I not to follow your lead? Attitude reflect leadership. That's what I'm going to hit them with. Attitude reflect leadership. If you're a cop and you can do it, what makes you think that I wouldn't do it? And they're going to let me go. And then they're going to hope that I erase that video, which I would because of the engagement. And that's what happens a lot of the time. Sometimes I'm recording, nothing happens, and that's perfect. Like I'm only doing it because I know somebody's going to question my word. Even when this video, I'm showing you all this video and people are still questioning it. And then they're making up their own. So when I got out of the car, I'm recording and as I'm walking up to open the door, he's walking back. Now the police officers had went around the back of the building towards where I was supposed to be still parked. Now when he walks up, you'll see that my engagement with him was formal. I was cool. He always had this weird little thing, but I ain't really tripped. I'm like, yo, as long as you don't affect me no kind of way, I'm a nice dude, period. Y'all know that from the lives. Y'all know that from, even my video posts. Everything is all in good humor. Everything's upbeat live. So I'm holding the door for this dude. He says nothing to me about trespassing, banning me, none of that. Matter of fact, he walks in and he makes a statement, says, man, it's really freezing out. And then he goes in. And again, me not knowing what's going on, I address the kid that I know. I'm like, yo, bro, I'm still waiting. It says been 30 minutes. You can hear me say it's been 30 minutes. Now, why would I say that if it hadn't been 30 minutes? Because some people were like, yo, you didn't wait 30 minutes. And a lot of people believe that the incident started inside the Chick Fil A. I have to keep explaining to people. I was in the drive-thru. I don't come in the store. I just happened to be in the drive-thru because happened to have to come in the store because the drive-thru was taking. It was an anomaly. Chick Fil A is pretty fast, they're pretty thorough that way. And so you hear me address them, and everybody's kind of walking around. It's just a weird energy, but I'm not. Again, when you are oblivious, when you're in the right, when you've done nothing wrong, it feels like the Twilight Zone, but you can't you can't put your finger on it. You can't say, why is it weird today? You can't do that because nothing about you has changed. It's the circumstances around you. So as I question him or whatever, I say, hey man, can you get the manager by the way? Because this is worth a discussion. Especially with my daughter being hungry. I don't know if y'all caught that, but when she got her food, she immediately started digging in. Some people was like, get a refund. I had already paid for the food like 30 minutes ago. You know what I'm saying? Like you pay for the food before you pull around the drive-thru. Like there were questions and statements like that just were like the dumbest things on earth. Then you guys see him walk back. The manager walked out to flag the police to come in, and when I look over my shoulder, y'all see me. I'm like, again, I'm still oblivious. And what do I say to the police officers? Hey man, the line starts over there. I'm still me. I'm still enjoying. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling them like, yo, I don't know if y'all know it, but there's a line. And people are like, no, I'm good. I already ordered it or whatever. I'm like, all right, cool. So shortly after that, that's when you see the manager walk back out. And the manager, it's not on camera, but the manager walks up and he says, at me, he said, that's him. And I'm like, what? And then police officers say, can you step outside? And I said, well, now that we got our food, yeah, but then I had to say, then it all started making sense. Like, yo, you actually stalled me out. You stalled my daughter out 30 minutes. You don't know what kind of day she's had. Like it was the most inconsiderate, insensitive, and malicious thing that could have happened because they knew my daughter was in the car. They knew I ordered a kid's meal. They could have just, they could have said, hey, Mr. Reynolds, can you come back tomorrow at 1:00? The owner wants to speak to you. It could have been any of that. They never did any of that. Send me a link, Courtney, in my DMs. Just send me a link. They didn't say any of that. And that was, I don't know if y'all can understand, like, I was really showing a lot of restraint. I was so mad. I was so mad. The younger me, like the Flint, Michigan me, I would have tore that joint up and I'd have been in jail. Like the younger me, I've learned so much about patience and about understanding and about when you're right, you don't have to fight. Okay, I see it, yep. When you're right, you do not have to fight. When you're right, the truth is your shield. The truth is the thing that's going to carry you. I ain't got to fight this fight. This ain't got to happen the way they expect it to happen. I didn't raise my voice. I needed some understanding because, again, I was confused. I just needed some understanding. And you saw them refuse to give it to me because there was no grounds for, like, I'm pretty sure there's no grounds for the conversation. There's no ground for that interaction to happen. And, 9 years old, experiencing an interaction with the police, not something that you want. You don't want certain memories for your kids to be happening, especially negative interactions where you're being admonished, where somebody's telling you, you can't do this, you can't do that, and then they never give you an explanation as to why. So still no explanation. We're still, all this stuff is still crazy. So, And you guys should, one of the most entertaining things you guys can do is go through and read some of the comments that some people are saying. People are basing their comments off the comments of people who have not watched the video. And so they're all saying crazy, general, basic stuff. And it's like, yo. And what's cool is there have been people, I really appreciate you guys. If I haven't said it yet, I really appreciate those of you who have watched the video and then have stood in the fold and commented when these people have said this crazy stuff. They say, I've watched comments and I'm delighted in it, to know that it's a good thing to know that people got your back. That's the best way I can say it. It's really cool when you realize people have your back. And people were just like, yo, you didn't watch the video. What up, LaRon, what's happening, homie? So many people had my back in this scenario where they were like, yo, you didn't watch the video. You don't need to be commenting. Clearly you didn't watch the video because he answered that. Those things, I'm excited to see them because it's heavy lifting, man. It's heavy lifting having to answer questions from people who just want to be malicious and troll. The video is at 2.9 million views on TikTok right now. An outrageous amount of comments, an outrageous amount of shares. You guys have really, really done a lot of work. Y'all have done some heavy lifting and shared the content and shared your opinions. And, I hope that, I don't have to continue clearing up what's obvious in the video. All this was done. None of this had to happen. This was all done 7 months ago when we shook hands. That should have been the end of it. But it wasn't. And now it's a thing. And, what can you do? When you've shaken somebody's hand and you've done what was supposed to be done and you've done the right thing and then people still, that's hard, man. I don't know if y'all know that. That's such a hard thing, yo. It's not hard to keep your word. It should have been the easiest thing to do. And he didn't. And that's the part that says a lot about leadership in that position. I know some of the kids have seen it. I've gotten DM from some of the from the kids that work there, and they was always talking about it, Sorry you're going through this, Mr. Reynolds. We know who the girl is, all that kind of stuff. They don't like her. She, it's a whole bunch of conversation. But he absolutely started hiring different people And I had already decreased the frequency on which, like, I didn't do the Screech and Bam Cam a lot anyway, but I decreased the frequency on how much I did it, as I recognized the kids that were a part of it that really enjoyed it. You know, they were getting shifts that were far and in between, and I wouldn't know when they were working, so I would never do it. I wouldn't do it like that. So, but yeah, man, I am gonna get back to making sure y'all understand and hear this music stuff too, because I sometimes these things can take you away from the stuff that you should be focusing on, and got to get back to making these hit records. I appreciate that. They want me to go live. I can't go live right now. So I see Just Courtney. A question for you: who are you? Courtney, you want to go live right quick? I want to. Let's get on live. Let me see if I can invite you to come live with me. Na 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 na. Yeah, Courtney, see if you can go. Do you have 1,000 followers, Courtney? Let me see. Yeah, you got 1,000 followers. Let's go live. Let's go live right quick, Courtney. Oh yeah. Somebody put put the spotlight on you. So you know what I'm saying? TikTok permanently banned you from going live. You can't even go live as a guest. Because normally when they ban you, they give you the opportunity to go live as a guest. You can't host a live, but you can be a live guest. Dang. All right, so what format do you have? What format can you go live on? I can invite you several different ways. You tell me which way you can go live, whether it's Instagram or anything like that. And I have a program where I can send you a link and you can go live. Crisscross applesauce. For those wondering what I'm eating, it's applesauce. Crisscross applesauce. All right, so let me see. DM my Instagram and I'm gonna send you a link. DM me on Instagram. And I'm gonna send you this link. Oh, you ain't gotta worry. Short form. I don't know you. I don't know you. Let me see. Man, the cleaners came by earlier than they normally do. They usually come at like 1. They came at like 8, I think. 8:30, man. And I had just went to sleep at like 2, 3, something like that. I'm partly out of it. It's 11:11, y'all. It's 11:11. The weather last night, Atlanta's been storming like crazy at night. It's been beautiful during the day, and at nighttime it's been going dumb. It's been going dumb at night. So I'm waiting on the young lady to send me her to text me. I'm going to send Mama, are you funny? I'm going to send her this link. Let me turn interview mode on. There we go. When she sends me when she DMs me, I'm going to send her this link to go live. I just copied it. I'm just waiting on her now. Miss E2323 to go live. Who is it? Miss E? Miss E. Did I send you an invite? I didn't mean to send you an invite. I meant to click on your profile. But yeah. Listen, if you're in my live right now, man, this is what we usually do. It's called Motivational Mondays. If you're here in my live right now, type something motivational, either that you would tell yourself or that you would tell somebody that you feel might need some motivation. Just be a part of somebody's great experience today. Give somebody some motivation. Can you do that for me? Motivate your people. Motivated. It's your host with the most like butter on your breakfast toast. I am your favorite green-eyed bandit. OG Chuck, the building. CJ. Yo, y'all say something positive and motivational right now, man. Show some love. What the world needs now. Love, sweet love. Oh, yeah. Let me turn my MPC on right quick. I might want to get creative. I would tell someone that they are capable of all things they put their minds to. That's what's up. Let me see. Just because you fall down doesn't mean you're going to stay down. It's always a light at the end. That's what's up. Hey, Jasmine, they say fall down 8 times, get up 9. Say that a couple times. Fall down 8 times, get up 9. There she goes. It's Courtney. All right, I got you, General. All right, so Courtney, make sure you got some headphones. I want you to click on this link. Boop. And you can go live with me. You will change the world positively, one soul at a time. And that's all that's required, Heavenly. That's what's up. Like, some people try to bite off the more than they could chew. They want to change all of the world at once. No, you just one person at a time. Hey, Shonda, what up, girl? The only thing that stands in between you and your destiny is the time that it takes to get there. That's right. Don't believe people when they tell you that, oh, you got to take all this time. Listen. You ever heard that where people tell you you got to do all this, you need 10,000 hours, all that? I used to believe that. And I think that, yes, you gain a lot of experience from the 10,000 hours, but you and your goal and how fast you getting there is predicated on how bad you want it. You got to go after it, chase it with reckless abandonment. Go after your goal, whatever that is, and push to get it. And you're going to face some challenges on the way, but your momentum should carry you forward every time. Marmar said, don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done. Go ahead, girl. I hear you. That's kind of me too. Like when I start something, I think I get tunnel vision with stuff. Like when I start something, I'm just stuck. I'm stuck with doing it. You know what I mean? Like I can't. That's how I was with chores. Okay, we got Courtney coming on live. Let me see. Let me get it.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
And
so,
officer, can you ID yourself, please?
Yeah, officer,
Name and badge
see
number.
There we go. Let me see if I can get Courtney here. Hold on one second, Courtney. I see you kind of muted. Let me see if I can get you in this live so people can see you. There she goes. There she goes. We can hear you.
Hey, y'all.
Hey. So are you at work or something?
No. I'm at home. This is my garage. This is where I sing.
Okay. She said this is where I sing. So that means you have your own recording setup? Is that what you're saying? Or is this where you practice at?
No, like you know when you go to like the garage in your house, like the acoustics are like
Right.
crazy good.
Right.
So this is where I sing. Like when I wasn't banned from TikTok Live, like this is where I was singing.
Okay. So question for you. Singer, songwriter, or singer?
Singer songwriter.
Okay. Singer, songwriter, musician?
Musician. I play guitar, yeah.
Girl, where your guitar at?
I left at my dad's house.
Oh man.
All
right. I'm currently reading. Let me see. I have Heavenly said I have never witnessed a storm that didn't end in sunshine. So keep pushing through. And then Divine Angel says anything happened to you today is not happening to you, but for you. I had people just reading off some motivational comments. Today is Motivational Monday. And typically I just like having people just come on, man, say something that's going to, inspire somebody. You never know when your statement or your word might change the outcome of somebody's week, life, or, you know what I'm saying, their experience. So, but I heard you're a singer, man. Where you from?
I'm from, it's called Harris Neck, Georgia. You probably never heard of it.
I've been to Harris Neck. What are you talking? I'm joking.
Are you?
There's no way in the world I've been to Harris Neck, Georgia.
See, you ain't even right.
I'm just saying Harris Neck. Like I don't even know how you explain that to people. Where you from?
Yes.
I live in Harris Neck, Georgia. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what the judges said too. That's what they said too.
The judges.
Yeah.
Oh, I forget. Okay, so talk to me. Tell me. Give me some history.
Okay, so been singing since I was 5. Like I've just always sung. And then it's like 2020. That's when I was on American Idol. But really, like there's levels to it. So when you first audition, you do it virtually. And you do it with executive producers. And then the second round, you do another set of executive producers. And then the third round is when you get to see the judges. Well, I didn't do any of the previous steps, but someone had just told me, like, hey, like they're doing auditions in Savannah. I was like, okay, cool. Okay, I'm gonna go out there and And I went out there, and they were like, Shawty, like this is not what you think it is. Like this is for people who's already done the steps to get here.
Oh, right.
Yes. And then I was like, okay. And I asked another security guard. He was like, no, like you can't do that. Like that's not fair to everybody else. And I was like, like what can I do?
Right. I'm here. I'm all the way here from Harris Neck. What are you saying?
Right.
Do you know how far Harris Neck is from Savannah? Y'all tripping.
Oh my gosh. So I was like, all right. So my dad's girlfriend, she was like, girl, you better stay in Savannah. You better get you some breakfast. Go back and try it.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right. So I got me some breakfast. I went back, and literally, like I saw all the judges, like just going one by one. Like it was Lionel, and then it was Luke, and then the last one was Katie. And I think the only thing I said to her was like, hey, Katie. And she's like, hey, girl. And I was like, all right, well, that happened. Right now, what? And there was this guy named Bobby Bones, and I like said hi to him, and I told him that I was there to sing or whatever. And he was like, okay, just Instagram, send me an Instagram DM or something. I was like, okay. And then we saw another exec, and he was like, just walking, and I was like, hey, like I would love to be on the show. Like I would love to be on there. I was like, singing is my life. Like I sing through everything. And he was like, okay. He's like, I could try, but I don't really know.
Right.
And so he left, and then he came back with like some like signature release forms, like secret release forms. And I read them over. I was like, okay. And so I signed them. And I knew by that time when he came back with them forms.
Right. It was finna go be on the pop.
Yeah. So he left, and then the next thing I know, Ryan Seacrest is walking backwards with his camera. He's like, shouting everybody out, hey, how you doing? Like this is American Idol, like blah blah blah. And then the camera points to me, and he's like, what's your name? And I was like, Courtney. He was like, what are you doing here? Like, what are you trying to do? And I was like, I'm here to be on the show. I was like, singing is my life, it's my everything.
Right.
And he was like, how bad do you want to be on the show? And I was like, more than anything I probably ever wanted in my entire life. And he was like, okay, we're going to try to get you seen. It's not guaranteed, but we're going to try. And I was like, oh. So we went inside the building, and we went up the elevator, and he was like, you're going next. Oh God! Like, all right. When you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready. So
right.
I went next, and it's crazy because I feel like it was meant to happen because I knew exactly what song I was gonna sing.
Okay, and what song was like?
I sung "Rise Up" by Andre Day.
Okay, I know what that is. And I rise.
Mm-hmm. No. Yes. So I sung that one, and they were like, "Are we being pranked?" And I was like, no. They asked me where I'm from. I was like, Harris Neck, Georgia. They were like, Harris Snake, like snake.
Right.
And I was like, no, Harris Neck, like your neck.
Like neck.
And right. And they were like, girl, you have like one of the most beautiful voices that we've heard all day. And then somebody else said, no, you're probably the best singer that we've heard all day. And it's crazy, because before I started, like. No, it was after I sung. After I sung, like they were still contemplating on whether or not they would put me on the show because it wouldn't be fair to everyone else.
Right.
And so Lionel Richie had a record deal. Like he had a contract written up. And he was like, okay, if we don't put her on the show, then I'm going to sign her. And so I was hoping.
that they didn't put you on the
You know
show.
what? Y'all ain't even gotta do it. Y'all ain't even gotta do it. Like,
Right.
y'all ain't even gotta do it.
I'm here for the record deal, so let's just do that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not fair to everybody else. But they were like, we're gonna put you on the show. But that's so great. Yeah.
Right.
So I sung Rise Up, and it was like, I don't know, it was the most surreal experience ever.
So when was this? When did this take place?
This was in 2020. It was season 18.
Okay, and then so were you able to get on the show? Did something? I don't recall.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So whenever I finished singing, they was like, okay, well, this goes without being said, but you're on the line. And they were like, come on, girl, like take the walk, like take your walk, girl. And I was like, I'm gonna take the walk.
That's funny.
I'm gonna take that. So I took my walk. I got my darn the
golden ticket. Yeah.
Yes. So I got that. And then probably 2 months after, we had to go to California to do the rounds. So the first round was pretty good. It was a solo round, and I sung Whitney Houston.
Which song?
And I sung. Oof. I sung I Believe in You and Me because that was my mom's favorite song.
Okay.
Yes, I love it. So I went through to the next round on that one, and then after solo rounds, they usually do group rounds. So that's what I had prepared for if I had been put on the show.
Right.
So they were like, surprise. Okay, we're doing duets. We're not doing the group rounds. And I'm like,
okay. So yeah, that's a monkey wrench.
Yeah, and so everyone's like snatching up partners left and right. Like, okay, we gonna do this. Like, we gonna do together. Okay, we gonna be together. And I'm just like, all right. And then I found the guy, and I was like, okay, you want to be partners? Like, you have a beautiful voice. Like, I think we complement each other very well. He's like, yeah, sure, great. He went off somewhere, could not find him. And then when I did find him, he was with somebody else. So he
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I ended up getting paired with this guy named Zach, who told me that he was only on the show because of a bet. He was like, I don't want to be here. Like, if these cameras, if they put them in my face, I'm gonna curse these people out. Like, I don't want to. I don't want to be doing this. And I was like, why did I get paired with this man?
Right.
But that experience, after the solo, it was because he didn't want to be there,
right.
And it showed. And because he didn't want to be there, and that was the one that chose the song for the both of us. Like he wasn't putting in any effort. Like the tune of his guitar and me singing, like it was off. Like I couldn't find him. He kept stepping out to take smoke breaks. I couldn't find him during everyone else's like the actual duets. Like I couldn't find him. When I did find him, he was outside.
Right.
Like, and I was like, what's wrong with you? Why are you vomiting? And he's like, it's the food. And it was,
that's whack juice.
It was hilarious.
So did you go back the following year?
I did. I auditioned every year since then because I told them I would be back.
Right.
But it's only so much I do. If I audition and I put my all into it, and you decide to not put me on the show, that's not on me.
Right. I understand it's a show. I understand there's a show element. So I had 2 kids on there before. Tamyra Gray, who came in 4th from Atlanta, Georgia. That was like early on during Kelly Clarkson's season, stuff like that. And I had Christopher Aaron, who was a wild card for the show. He got TV time and everything, but you know, Tamyra's an awesome live vocalist. Very challenging to record her in the studio. It didn't translate. Chris is still a star, but he could have really taken American Idol by storm had he come back the next year as well. You know, they really liked his image. He looks like a model. Like, he's about 6'2", 6'3", dark-skinned dude, afro. You know what I'm saying? He looked like a model who could really sing. So they enjoyed having him there. But you know, American Idol for some people leaves a like, I don't want to go back type thing, and he didn't go back and do it. So who is Courtney?
Courtney is this country girl who, I mean, I don't know how to put it other than just simply saying that literally singing is my life. Like there's no if this doesn't work out for you. If you couldn't be a singer, then what would you do? Okay, if you wasn't a singer,
No. Okay, so let me rephrase the question, right? Because I understand that this is your passion. I totally get it. But who are you? Like, it's a lot of people who sing. It's a lot of people who want to sing. Who are you? Who is Courtney, and what is Courtney gonna be singing about? Like, what record? I typically ask all artists this: what record in the last 2 years did somebody steal from you, so to speak? Like, what record that came out was top of the charts that you was like, that's my record. I would have done that. That should have been me.
Ooh.
I ask these questions because if a lot of times artists claim uniqueness, and when you're so unique that you're not relatable, that's a problem. You know, some people are so, I'm just me. Nobody out there like me. Really? Is there any part of you that's like anybody else? If not, that's kind of a problem because people want something new that has something old attached to it to make it something fresh. So who do people say you sound? I'll take it back a step. Who do people say that you sound like?
I've gotten Beyonce, my softer side, Janae Aiko. Those two. Really.
Okay. Beyonce, I get because she's super public and as far as talent goes with her voice, and I get Janae Aiko for her vibe, right? Janae Aiko is more vibe than vocals. You know what I'm saying? And Beyonce is more vocals than vibe nowadays. Like, she's just a powerhouse vocalist. Is she doesn't have to dial it back like a Janae Aiko does. You know what I'm saying? So what 3 artists make up Courtney? Dead or alive, current or old? 3 artists.
Whitney, Beyonce for sure. I have to put her in the mix. And what else would I like to say?
Well, somebody who clearly knows you is saying Patty.
I was thinking that.
Yeah, your friend Heavenly Cutter said Beyonce, Patty, and Whitney. I've met all of them. I know Patty, and I worked with Whitney. I wrote the first single off of her Just Whitney album. Mm-hmm. So those are very complimentary artists to steal from. You know what I mean? Steal everything from each one of those artists. Now, I don't. The next question becomes, how do you present yourself, knowing that these are the influences that you have? What is your idea for, introducing the world to Courtney? Like, who it goes back to this, and you don't have to answer it right now. You can answer this at a later date, because it's a question you got to think about, right?
It is, yes.
For me, it's a multifaceted question. I usually, if you were here, and I don't want to ask you online, but if you were here, I'd be asking you questions like, what's going on in your life? From relationship status to job status to emotional status to, where is your head at, and what are you planning on writing your songs about? What is your story that people are going to be interested in hearing from you? Because that part matters. If you know it, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm an open book. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I'm an open book, but I know when to.
I would want you to be open. I would want you to be open and transparent in your writing and the delivery in your songs, and let that be the vehicle that people use to discover who you are. I wouldn't say you should openly discuss all that stuff. I would say, you want to know, I used to tell people this. You want to know how I'm feeling? You want to know what I got going on and what I'm doing? Go listen to my songs. Like I literally was in a relationship with a girl who I had just driven back to Howard and realized when I was driving her back that we were probably going to break up. And I was in love with this girl. When I tell you, like, I wrote some of the worst songs ever in my life. Songs like Love'll Drive You Crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then somewhere, I got this really dope, a really dope record I wrote called Somewhere Inside of Me. But it was where I realized that we were breaking up. It said, somewhere inside of me, deep down in my heart, I know that you are unhappy and there's no way. Like I was just basically, I wrote it and sent it to her. Like, I know this is it. You know what I'm saying? And people would always know what was going on in my life based off of what I wrote.
You know what? I love that. I love that. I love that way of thinking. I like that idea. That makes so much sense. Well, hell, I could write about 5 songs right now. Then
that's what it should be though. But my job as a producer would be to hear your story and then say, let's shape it in this way so that it's contextual and people can hear it and they can say, I listen to Courtney because same reason why you say you listen to Janae Aiko. It's a complete vibe. You know, she's the modern day version of a Sade, so to speak, without those rhythms. You know what I'm saying? Without that Caribbean flavor, without that, world and international flavor to it. It's more of an R&B hip hop kind of thing, but you relate to it. She's like a younger, I don't want to say watered down. She's just a younger version of an Erykah Badu. Without the extreme neo on it. It's her own version of R&B that she does, but that is the parts that you have to start saying, like, where are you at in your life? What's going on that's relatable to what's the most relatable part of what you're dealing with in your life experience right now? And then how, and then we create a way for you to say it.
Okay. Because I think for me, it's never... Because I critique myself so hard, like harder than anybody ever could. But I'll find that, like, it's easy for me to write songs, but it's the beats for me.
Yeah, the music should inspire the lyric.
Exactly.
Have you written for anybody else? Have you ever decided, like, have you ever wrote a song for anyone else other than yourself?
Just myself.
Okay. That's something also that will help you find your way is when you write for others, you realize how something that you write for somebody else either does or doesn't work for you. And you start peeling off the layers on how to better, like the reason Candy from Escape was such a dope writer is being a part of the group. She realized as a writer in the group what they could talk about and what they couldn't. And then leaving the group, she was more on this is what I really wanted to say. You know what I'm saying? Similar to BBD and New Edition. BBD said things New Edition couldn't. Cisco did stuff that Drew Hill couldn't. When you hear these solo artists stepping away from their groups and performing and exposing these other aspects of them, that's kind of, as a songwriter, that's what we get to do. We get to play around and become other people, and we're realizing how much in that process that either you would never say that, or you might even keep the record for yourself because it's so in line with what you would do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So that's worth exploring. Have you recorded before? It sounds like a dumb question, but I got to ask it. So you record in the studio. Do you know how to record yourself? Have you ever, sat down and press play and record and anything like that? Or are you not a requirement that you're on the technical side of it, just a question?
I have.
Okay, you saying it like, girl, you went to Full Sail. Don't be smiling at me like. It's like, yeah, I went to Full Sail. I've graduated with, I can mix the whole songs, all the albums. No, I think that that's another aspect that as an artist that artists should take seriously is if you had no one to help you but yourself, because the way music is set up right now, I'm what they call a 100%er. I can write it, I can produce it, I can record it, I can mix it, I can do it all here by myself. Now it's accumulative, me learning these processes. I learn very quick and I just get it. You know what I mean? Or if I had to say one of my gifts was being able to articulate ideas and just based off of my live, if you ever watch any of my past lives or any of that, my perspective on things is just different than most people. So even with my consumption and regurgitation of information is just at a different place. You know what I'm saying? So as you continue to learn, how far is this place from Atlanta?
No,
Is
like 2 hours to change.
So you're like which direction is that? Columbus, Augusta, Athens, which way?
Columbus.
Okay. So you pass Columbus because Columbus is just like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Sheesh. How often do you come up to Atlanta?
I won't say that I come there often. The guy who is like who does like my beats in the studio I do go to is in Atlanta. So
okay.
for that reason, I've gone there previously, but lately I haven't been going there.
All right. So what's the most current record that you've finished? Is it out somewhere? Is it on any DSPs or?
It's on what's it called? It's so common. It is so common now. I can't think of the name.
You have DistroKid, TuneCore,
Okay.
United Masters. If it's on Tidal or Apple or Spotify, which one? You just nod your head.
It's on DistroKid and
You're like,
Apple.
All right, so let me see if I can find this.
Okay, cool. And I'm sorry, what's your name?
My actual name is Dwight Reynolds. Usually it's on. So when you were on my TikTok, that's my actual name. If you type in Dwight Scrap Reynolds,
Okay.
You can search me on any search engine and it'll pull up a ton of information about me.
So that's what you go by.
I go by Scrap or either IC Green, which is the recording artist side of me, where I write and record for myself as an artist under IC Green. But my music production and writing has always been under Scrap.
Okay. Are you opposed to be called your actual name?
Most people don't. They either call me IC or they call me Scrap.
Okay.
Like you'll hear, and you'll end up doing it too because the way people reference me so much, family probably are the only ones who actually call me the name I grew up with. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. And then friends that I've known. So yeah, Scrap is good. IC is good. Green Eyes, all that kind of stuff I've grown up being called. So
yes, I've noticed. Very pretty eyes.
Thank you so much. Better to see with. Let me see. What site was I looking for? Is it on YouTube?
Yes, I have a music video.
Okay, let's check this. You know what? Girl, stop. Let me see.
We had to think about
Let me
it.
find out.
Yes.
Let me find out. So what's the okay. Are you performing under your name?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's the last name again?
Timmons. So T Tiger I.
I see it. I see you.
Mm-mm.
Where? So,
I just
girl, they did a where is she now and everything. I see it.
Hey.
So let me see. Let me go to your page. Let me subscribe first. Wait, that says Courtney Melvin.
Yes.
Is that right? I don't want to be subscribed to somebody that's not
That's
you.
the right one.
Okay, so let me go
That's
here.
the right one.
Let's go to videos. And you just did a Jennifer Hudson cover a month ago. And you've not been very active. Hello. Come on, man. So let's see what we got. Let me see. Let me see. Can we do that? Can we?
Is that my
Hold on.
music video?
Yeah, hold on. Let me me see if I can show it here.
Oh, that's not it.
Uh-oh. Let me stop that then. She said that is not it. This is the Jennifer Hudson cover. Let me see. Where would I find your what's name at then? Let me see.
You literally went like it's that video where you see me in red.
Soulmate featuring Billy Walker.
Hello.
That's the one?
Yeah.
Okay. I straightened my hair out for this one. Let me see if I can do this. Full screen. Hold on. Let me do it this way. Unlock that. Let me do this. Safari. That right there. Let me see. It should play it. It's playing it now, but I got the volume muted. Give me 1 second. And
on my dark nights, you ignite my inner light. Love me bright. You came to wake me from my deepest sleep. Life with you is just a different sweet. I taste your love endlessly. I find myself falling deep before you sing. Kisses got me feeling like a beer. Don't ever plan on getting clean and how you in. Each time I breathe, I can't exhale. Won't let this high go. You make me feel like I've never felt. You touch my soul, you make me whole. You make me feel like I've never felt. You touch my soul, you make me whole.
Let's time it on. Let's take some drinks so I can show you all. Pictures by the beach, I'm so proud to be somebody's song. Your life makes me feel like I can have it all. Have it all. Fell in love with your energy. You're my drug, you set me free. You keep me high like the loudest way. The mother girl, CBD.
You make me feel like I've never felt.
You touch my soul, you make me whole.
You make me feel like I've never felt. You touch my soul, you make me whole.
You touch my soul, you make me whole.
ladies and gentlemen, that was Courtney Timmons, Soulmate, featuring Billy Walker.
Y'all see me.
Soulmate, featuring Billy Walker. I'm your host with the most like butter on your breakfast toast. This was an exclusive here on Bite to Eat. I know, right?
Sound like that?
What do you mean? How do I sound like that?
How do you sound like that? You sound like people for real.
I mean, come on, because we've all heard those people for real. What are you saying?
Come on. Like you sound just like them.
I mean, well, it is like a real podcast type situation here. You know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to sound like that. It's supposed to sound official. I like the record. You know, again, I think the interesting part would be where you are now in your journey of who you are and what you want to convey. What did I have there before? Let me see if I can. You make me no. I like that. The melody and everything is very memorable. I can't say 1 second, I'm sorry. Let me go back to this. Yeah. I can't say that, and I'm you know, when it comes to music, I'm just very forthright. I can't say that I remember the song. Like, I don't know what the song is. I like the melody. I remember the melody. Like, I could see myself throughout the day just going, I'm just gonna be doing that throughout the day. You know what I'm saying? The harmonies were amazing. I love the harmony. Where y'all did that and he was going, it was like a counter melodies and everything. I think that was super dope. What are your aspirations? You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking. I don't even know what you want to do with yourself.
Honestly,
Lie to me.
well, I can't do that. But I mean, I'm just really, I'm trying to get myself back out there. I mean, of course, I do want to be a singer, but when I was on American Idol, I didn't do um, what needed to be done with my exposure, which is being consistent on YouTube, probably reaching out to people, seeing if I could sing at certain events or like things like that. Because
Right.
during that point in time, yeah, I was popping. Like
Right.
everybody was my cousin and auntie them. Like,
Right.
but I didn't do what needed to be done. I didn't take myself there.
Didn't take
so.
advantage of the moment. I get it. And a lot of
Not at
people
all.
don't realize when you're in the middle of it, it is difficult at times to find ways to just say, to take advantage of it. You know what I mean? To really, really say, oh man, I need to be thinking about this, that, and the other. And most people that are around you, especially, if they're not acclimated to the music industry, they won't be saying or knowing to say, hey, you have an amazing opportunity to create a lot of content that'll give you exposure and give you opportunities. So now, you're not far removed from that moment. I think you need something impactful to happen, song wise. But there's conversation that probably should happen off the live, you know what I'm saying, to figure out where you're at, what your commitment is to your career and your, what you're trying to do and, put everything in perspective.
Sorry, I'm over here about to cry.
Girl, don't be emotional.
I can't help it. Listen, if what needed to be done was done, then I would probably just be further along.
Well, what you have to realize is this. The experience that you have of not, quote unquote, taking that or doing what you felt needed to be done is right on time. It's not what you had an opportunity to do. It's what you have an opportunity to do. Like, you can't think about anything before this moment because everything before this moment was set up for this moment. And if you dwell too much on the past, you won't take advantage of this moment and the moments that are to come. So position yourself and your thoughts. And you should be, I think that for any moment that you've missed, you should look at that as the fuel to not miss any other moments. What are you going to do to create a circumstance where you don't miss your moments, where you give yourself your shot, your best shot? Those are just, you're going to have a lot of opportunities. Granted, there may be a cap on it. There may be a limit to how many opportunities we all get. What's going to matter the most is the opportunities that you take the most advantage of. So what are you going to do from here is a better question. What are your plans from here? And this is not I don't want to put you on the spot. I would just tell you to think about these things. I ask questions in the moment that I think, in my career, I've been able to resign and say, hey, let me just think about that because I want to honor the conversation the right way. I want to think about it well enough to be able to respond in such a way where I've given it the thought that it takes to make it make sense for me. I can say anything to you and you'll be like, oh, okay, cool. But ultimately, what your conversation needs to be is the realest thing you've ever said about your life that's going to activate the things that you didn't activate before when life was very real. Like when you were experiencing American Idol, that's when you have to have more than the talent. You have to have the community of people around you to say and think about the things that you shouldn't be as an artist As an artist, you should be focused on your craft. And then understanding that this is a business, you should have somebody who's at least throwing business ideas out or concerns so that you can, you know what I'm saying, better maneuver. Good morning, social butterfly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
I did have someone like that.
Yeah, and you know, having the right person in those times matters too. A lot of us have had somebody in those positions, but having the right person at the right time to do to push things forward or to convey to you the ideas that are going to jumpstart what needs to be done is necessary. So, excuse me. I would say, is that song the most current song you've recorded?
Unfortunately.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I know it, and you know
You
I
ought to
am.
be ashamed of yourself.
I
Listen,
know it.
but I understand this too, right? I understand how the music industry, gift and a curse, it can throw a curveball at you when, you know, when you feel like you've openly expressed, like, yo, you feel like you've missed some opportunities. You feel like, you know, some things could have happened that didn't. You have to understand that God's timing is the best timing in the world, and that things happen and don't happen for various reasons. Most of it is we lack preparation or understanding of some events. So I'm hoping within the past 2 years, you've experienced some things that help you really put a grasp on what you want and give you the wherewithal to know how to get it, and then give you the motivation to go out and do it. You know what I'm saying? Like that is what that experience should be, should have implemented in your life journey. So what do you? So I'll save the answer for another conversation, but I'll ask you again. What do you want? How do you plan to get it? And by what means? So I would hope to do this, especially now that I'm subscribed to you on your YouTube channel. I would love to see you doing more singing and recording. Showing you in your atmosphere. So you don't have a recording setup at home?
I have a mic, but no, not really.
So how are you going to manage that? I can only imagine all the producers that are in Heckneck, Georgia. What'd you call it? Hacken's Neck? What's it called? Hepper Neck? I know Neck is in it. I just don't know Hayden's Neck. What's it called? Hapler Neck?
My glasses fell. Harris Neck.
Harris Neck. I knew it was somebody's neck. I can only imagine the outpour of producers that are in the area. Are there any producers in Harris Neck?
No, not at all. It's this tiny, tiny town with nobody in it. So,
what's the closest, semi-major city? Columbus?
Savannah.
Savannah's how far is Savannah?
You talking about from Harris Neck or from where I am now? Because I'm not in Harris Neck anymore.
Where are you now?
I'm in Americas, so Atlanta would be the closest to me now.
Where the hell is Americas? I'm discovering Atlanta. I'm discovering Georgia all over right now, y'all. Where is this place at?
Americas is. Do you know where Columbus, Georgia is?
85 South.
Okay. Do you know where Albany is?
I've not been to Albany, Georgia, but I've heard of it.
Okay. Well, it's like give or take like 45 minutes from Columbus.
Here's a question for you. What's up with all the small cities?
Listen, I know, right? I know.
Like if you got a big city vocal, you know what I'm saying? If you got a big city vocal, why are you not in the big city? Why are you not somewhere to showcase your talent even more so?
No comment.
All right. Do you currently work?
No, I lost my job over a month ago. I'm trying not to cry. Yes, I lost my job over a month ago.
All right. So listen, that what you may look at as bad things sounds like amazing things, honestly. Like you have the flexibility to go. You have kids?
I have 2 children, but I have someone to look after them.
Okay, so listen, you have so more importantly now, you have to put some some gas in the tank, pimping. Like literally, you gotta make some moves, right? And every move has to have a certain level of intention behind it. You know what I mean? Like you really got to mean what you're trying to do. And I think that life has humbled you to a point where you can be very honest about everything that you're doing. Like you said, you're very transparent and open and honest. I think that has to mean something. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to allow that to mean something. So how you do that is going to be predicated on the decisions you make, the chances you take, and how you pursue the next steps. It only takes one record to change your life. Did you know that? One song.
Yes.
One song. So when are you gonna write that song? You said you got a guitar, but the guitar is in Harris' neck?
You said the what's in Harris' neck?
The guitar.
The guitar. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I would have to drive 3 hours and 36 minutes to get.
Why not just have him send it to you?
Have him send my guitar to me?
Yeah, because clearly you're not finna drive to Harris' neck anytime soon. And by the time he could do it on a snail mail, like that shit could take a week and you still wouldn't not have gone there. You don't go to Harris' neck often, I can imagine. Yeah, so have him put it, either you're gonna listen, I'm just saying how to avoid the delays, in life. If you're, or buy a new one, or ask, or go to is there a music store where you're at right now in Americas? Is there a Sam Ash or a Guitar Center or anything like that?
No.
Okay. I'm saying this because there you have to find a way in which to in which to move around and create records based on music. So maybe you jump on YouTube, maybe find a track. Like for me, I don't know who the artist is yet. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. We'd have to have a thorough enough conversation where I would say, "Oh, I get it. This is this is what you could represent based off of where you're at in your life, what you've been through, and you know what I'm saying, and how you'll be relatable. Like where people be like, man, Courtney's singing my life right now. Yep. Who do you think you represent? Like if you were to write your record, who do you think you represent? Or who would you want? Who would you want to represent? Like remember Beyonce? Oh, I'm a single lady. I'm a single lady. We know who she represent. Married is I don't know what, talking to the single ladies. Got it. I'm just saying.
Right.
I'm just saying, who is it that you would? Who are you singing to or for?
Like you mean as far as like an audience goes?
Who are you singing to? Yep. If I could say, listen, Court, I'm gonna pack out this auditorium with all of your people who love what you do. Who are those people?
I'm very literal, so I'm going to answer this question in the way I think you're asking it.
Sure.
It would be, because I have 21,000 followers on Facebook, so I'd probably do my immediate family because they were there with me like from the beginning.
Okay, so let's not go that literal. So this is what I'm saying to you.
Okay.
You know, you was like, I'd have my babysitter there because she be holding shit down. You know what I'm saying? So no. This is what I want to know. What demographic of people like? My audience is 18 to 25. Usually young ladies who this or dudes that do this or da da da. You know what I'm saying? Like I know my audience is 21 and over. I know that they are logical people who love clever comments, clever lyrics, some playfulness, and not taken too seriously. Who's your audience?
Okay, definitely same age range. And I'm trying to figure out how to explain it. How to explain me so that I could explain what. Okay, so yes, 21 and up. I want to be able to reach out to people who can read between the lines, if that makes sense. Like, I am very direct, but I also want it to be like, oh, okay. You know how like there, like Lil Wayne has like his rap songs or whatever, and people are like, oh, did you hear what he said? Like, oh, he said this, but this is what he meant.
Right.
Like,
Clever writing.
yes. I love that. When people be like, oh yeah, you ain't get it, did you? You ain't get it, did
Do you write
Okay.
like that?
I could, yeah.
Not could. See, come on, man, stop playing.
Well, because I haven't written in I don't know how long.
You're
so
tripping, man. Listen, you're tripping.
I can't speak.
You're tripping. So Brown Sugar by D'Angelo. What is that song about?
What I think it's about?
Yeah, what do you think it's about?
Sex.
Okay. On the surface it is, but ultimately it's about weed. It's about weed. Brown Sugar Baby, I get high off your love.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I would have to listen to that like 3 times.
No. I'm finna give it to you real easy. And I use D'Angelo's that record because it's such a clever written record that people, most like you said, think that it's about, something else. So the lyrics, let me tell you about this girl, maybe I shouldn't. I met her in Philly Blunt, and her name is Brown Sugar. Phillies are brown, wrapping papers. See, we be making love constantly. That's why my eyes are a shade blood burgundy. His eyes red from smoking. The way that we kiss is unlike any other way that I be kissing when I'm kissing what I'm missing. Won't you listen? He trying to tell you like, yo, it ain't what y'all think it is. Brown Sugar Baby, I get high off your love. I don't know how to behave. Second verse. Oh, sugar, when you're close to me, you love me right down to my knees. And whenever you let me hit it, sweet like the honey when it comes to me. Oh. Skin is caramel with those cocoa eyes. Even got a big sister by the name of Chocolate Tie, which was a type of weed. Chocolate Tie. Brown Sugar Baby, get off your love. Yo, tail cut me up some. He says this in the song. Now that be how the story goes. Brown Sugar got me open and I want some more. Always down for menage a trois, but I think I'm going to hit it solo. Hope my niggas don't mind. He ain't puff passing. He's saying he just going to hit the joint by himself. Hope my niggas don't mind. Stick out my tongue and I'm about ready to hit this gritty, pretty bitty with persistence. Yo, but I don't think y'all hear me. Brown Sugar Babe. I get high off your love. I don't know how to behave. That's that duality in the clever writing. I love it. I love his writing as well. I typically interject a lot of clever comments that you think one thing, but they mean something else. I wrote a song called Bomb Diggy. It said, you know it's the bomb diggy diggy when we get jiggy. Let me piggyback ride on it all night long. Singing my song all through the hoodie. Want to get that goody goody. That song went number 4 on the charts. Like, clever writing is where it's at. But again, I say that to you to say that lyrics shouldn't be inspired by music. Lyric and melody, you should hear something and it should inspire something. And that is also a level of transparency that's going to help you out. But the fact that you're emotional means that there's a vulnerability there that I think could be really, really beneficial in your writing process. Because it requires you to have a roller coaster of emotion when writing and creating. You don't feel like one emotion all day. You have highs and lows, and each one of them should inspire the conversation. You know what I'm saying? And then once you have it, once you have, that motivation, live in that moment. and get everything out of it and then move on to the next moment. And what you realize is I always call it like peeling off the layers. You're multifaceted. The layers are always going to grow. But as you peel off the layers, you find out more about yourself as you do it. And the more often you peel off the layers, the easier it is to express what it reveals. So the writing becomes, I write songs in about 10 to 15 minutes, beginning to end. And it's because I'm in that moment. I tell people, I'm going to post this clip. This clip, you'll see me in the studio. I was at a Chris Brown writing camp in October. And I wasn't even supposed to be writing. I've got a writer who I manage who's ridiculous. His name is Kings, but his pen game, his melodies, his arrangements, bar none. Like he's truly talented. And we flew out so he could write at this camp, and he was actually writing in another room. We had about 5 or 6 rooms set up where people were writing. Jazzy was in a room. What's her name? Spill My Ink was in a room. Rockstar was in a room. Kings was in a room. I was in a room with Bree and Legend. And I was just only supposed to be listening. I was just kicking it. And I heard, we went through about 40 to 50 beats, and I heard, that's a good suggestion. Everett says also buy a recorder. I wouldn't say buy a recorder. A lot of my songs are in my voice notes on my iPhone. Everybody carries their phone with them more than just a recorder. So my own iPhone has several things. My iPhone, I could show you a laundry list of concepts and song titles, and then I could show you voice memos of ideas that I don't even go back and listen to them. I just get them out of my head. Again, part of my peeling off the layers process. And if it's really a dope idea, it'll come back to me when the music inspires it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like I get it out of my system, and then when it comes time so the Bomb Diggy record, here's the story. I wrote it down. I was chilling one day, and I just said, I want to write a song that uses this word, Bomb Diggy. And I happened to just write it down. This is before I was heavy texting and all that. I wrote it down. About 5 or 6 months later, we decided to take on a new member in my singing group, and he flies in from Ohio. I'm in Atlanta. He comes in from Ohio. I knew him because we worked together before. He comes, and my other member wasn't there. It was 3 of us. He wasn't there. He was in Michigan at the time. And so he comes down, he's staying with me. And the first day I had this regular beat up. It wasn't nothing special, just a cool beat. Wrote to it. It was straight. Mediocre at best. I'd never be like, yo, we got one. That wouldn't be it. Second day I did this beat. It was hard in the mug. I was like, yo, this could be something crazy. And then he wrote to it, but he had the pieces in the wrong place. Like he had the B section, which was strong as I don't know what. I was like, yo, that's got to be the hook. You know what I'm saying? Like, that sounds like a hook, bro. And he was mad. He argued with me. Like, we argued for about 2 hours because he wanted to keep it how it was. And I'm like, yo, I'm really flexible unless it don't make sense. Like, it's obvious that this thing is called Eviction Notice was the name of the song. And he had that part in the pre-hook. And I'm like, bro, this song is clearly saying it should be called Eviction Notice in the hook. So a third party came over and agreed with me, which pissed him off, which was great for me because I don't hold grudges, but it was great for me because it worked for the song. The song was an angry kind of song, and he sang it like he didn't want to sing it, which was perfect. Like, people loved that record. So third day, I had this quirky little guitar thing I had came up with. It felt like a mistake. You know what I'm saying? Like I did something and I hadn't realized I had done it until I listened back to it, and I was like, yo, this feels crazy. He walks by the door. I'm like, yo, help me write this joint. He's like, nah, you got it. You know it all. I was like, oh, okay. All right. I got up. Now, mind you, I had never prided myself on being like one of the best singers. I'm so much doper now singing than I ever was then, and it was a matter of confidence. Like I was in a band before that. I was the 4th best singer in a 4-man group. Make sense? Like, I'm surrounded by a dude who sounded like James Ingram, one sounded like Luther Vandross, another one sounded like Phil Perry. Like, these dudes' voices were ridiculous. I was just happy to be the producer, producing music and writing, and then doing my harmony note. You know what I'm saying? So I closed the door. He's in the other room. I closed the door. I finished the track, and I start working on the vocals. And I'm concentrating so hard because I'm mad that it comes out amazing. So when I finally play it out loud, he like, yo, what is that? I'm like, yo, this is a song I want you to help me write. He's like, oh man, you gotta let me get on the hook, man. You gotta let me do, you gotta let me get on the bridge or something. And I was like, yeah, you can get on this little bridge or whatever. Clive Davis ended up taking the bridge out of it. He didn't like the bridge. But the song he picked and chose for his group over in Europe, that went top 4. Super clever record. Wow. Yeah, super clever record. But the song was that one I said, Bomb Diggy. I had literally written it down months before. And I just tell people, put this stuff out in the universe. Put your, write it down somewhere and get it out of your system. And then if it comes back to you. So this used to be a thing. And you can probably take this, and anybody else that's listening, you could take this. If you happen to forget a lyric while you're writing a song, then I dare say the lyric didn't belong in the record anyway. Only memorable lyrics and hooks and lines will stay. And I say I write from the hook first and then everything else. If I don't have a hook, I don't have a record. So I write the hook first. And once I have the hook, then I write how I got to the hook, and then I write what happens after I introduce the hook. And my song is done. It takes me no time. So this instance, I'm in the studio with Chris, with them doing this record, and they go through around 40, 50 beats. That's a lot of ear fatigue. I don't know if you know that. Like, they go through verse, hook. Some stuff didn't make it, immediately. You knew right away, like, that ain't it. But then there were other songs that were so highly considerable. They played this one beat. It was, to me, it was amazing. Like, I was like, yo, this is the unicorn. You know what I'm saying? So after they get done listening and all that, they went back through, maybe it was like 17 tracks they had chose. And I was like, yo, before y'all do that, can y'all go back to the one, the one I heard before? Because I think that's special. And one thing that I'm going to give y'all something my mentor gave me that should benefit any songwriter out there. And this is how you're going to know what a hit is and be able to identify not only what one is and how to create it. But he said, if you listen to nothing but number ones, you'll stop short of falling beneath the top 10. Like, you'll never write a record that isn't top 10 or better because all you know is top number ones. Now, what makes number one records is what? The radio. So you have to, for those people, I've met people say, I don't listen to the radio, I don't listen to the radio. I say, how can you not, and Usher gave me this too. He's like, how can you participate in something and not be a part of it? Like, how can you want to be a radio songwriter and never watch what's going on with the radio? He was like, I was at an Usher crib. I was staying out there for about a month. And this house was pristine. Like, this is Usher was probably 26 at this time. The house was still looking like L.A. Reid's house. It was very immaculate. It looked like a 40, 50-year-old nigga's house. I was like, I said, my nigga, one night we was out, all us, me, him, and the rest of our homeboys, Keith and a bunch of us was in his SUV going out to the club. And nigga asked me, he's like, yo, how did you enjoy staying on the Usher grill? I was like, bro, I said, it's the worst shit ever. I said, I can't write no songs. Everybody knew I could produce like a mug, and they was like, oh, what's going on? I was like, yo, I can't write a song to save my life. I said, this house is so immaculate, I need to be walking in with a smoking jacket, some slippers, and some opera music playing whenever I went in for like 30 minutes. I was like, bro, I said, the house is so immaculate, I sleep on top of the covers because I don't want to mess up the bed. I said, this house, I said, I haven't had a good sleep in 30 days, nigga. I was like, I was going off, like, to the point where he had to pull over because everybody was crying, laughing, even him. Like, everybody was passing out, laughing in the car. 2 weeks later, he remodeled the whole thing. Like, he tore down everything. The basement was fly. Like, he because I was right. He knew I was right. I was like, bro, how are we young and this don't look like an MTV crib? Like, how does this look like, you know what I'm saying? It don't look like a vibe. You know what I'm saying? Who are we? So he took me out to the club, though, because of the lack of creativity. He's like, yo, how you going to write for the club if you don't go to the club? I'm looking for some shit that's going to rock the club. So we went out, and as the music was playing, he tapped me on the shoulder to be like, listen, you hear that? That's it right there. You know, that vibe. And that's why I go back and I say to you, who stole your record, and also your influences. what kind of sound and songs influence you? If you could have a song that feels like what? And that's typically how I work with some artists. I say, send me 3 songs that you think embody what you want and tell me what it is about those 3 songs it embodies. So somebody say, the melodies on this record was amazing. I want something that has this kind of melodic flow. Or rhythmically, this is right in my wheelhouse. I want to do something that's going to make me want to dance. Or, you know what I'm saying, this sultriness of this. Like, these are real conversations that I think I got to get. Oh, she got to call back in. All you got to do is click the thing and she'll call back in. Or she might have got a call.
I don't know what this has.
Or you dropped the phone or something.
Yes, but I have no idea who that was.
Girl, I don't know who's calling
I got
you
a phone
either.
call.
Yeah, I don't know who's calling you either. Shoot.
You said,
I ain't in your business like
right.
that. I have no idea. No, but so all that to say, I think was I talking about the how can you be a part of it if you're not in it? So
Right.
even this hiatus that you've had for 2 years, you've been absent from what you want to be a part of. And all you got to do is dial back in, because you're what it is it's a long extension period. And maybe you gain different fans than the fans you had then. There's an opportunity there. And I don't want you to have a sense of hopelessness, but more so hopefulness, because all you have to do is present something greater than where you left off. Now, if I'm going to be the producer that I am, if I'm going to talk about what I heard in the song, I think the song is cool. Like I said, I don't remember the name of it, but I do remember the melodies. I would say one of the things that I think that from the influences that you have that I will tell you, you may want to borrow or steal, is really diving into articulating the emotion of the record that you want to convey. It's multifaceted, meaning some of it is breath work, meaning how you breathe in the records and regurgitate the sound. So some stuff, Beyonce does a lot of, and singing, she in your face. But Whitney was more of a, and I'm gonna run to you. I'm gonna run. You know, it was this dramatic moments in the songs that has to be presented. You know what I'm saying? Patty was really dope at that. A lot of the older singers were dope of that, of bringing that to the table. So you want to take those things. It's called expression. You want to take the ability, and Janae Aiko has an expression as well, which is, like I said, we said it's kind of chill and it's lull. It lulls you in.
Yes.
Examine that. Great, you have an amazing voice. That's part of it. Delivery is everything else. Tamara Gray has a great voice, but her inability to deliver it when it comes to recording is the part that dynamic singers who give themselves a shot. Summer Walker can convey the emotions of a record. The reason why is she's singing about her life. It's easy for the emotions to be a roller coaster of effect when you talk about what she's been through. So you take your life experiences, current and past, and cultivate a conversation that you feel is missing from the global conversation about what you're going through. Somebody's going through what you're going through and just haven't heard you say it the way they needed to hear it. Find that.
So, I think my thing is, and it's not a good thing, but I'm very honest with myself. Like, if I don't see, you know how like somebody be like, oh my God, I used to watch this movie. Like, this movie's so good. And you turn on the movie and it doesn't instantly like, you're like, okay, ain't nothing going on. Like, I'm about to turn this off. Like, you're not immediately interested. You're not immediately intrigued. Like, nothing's going on. So you cut it off. Like, I'm one of those people like, okay, if it's not something grabbing my attention as soon as I turn it on, like, I'm not gonna want to finish watching it. Or it's even the same for music. And I definitely want my music to be like that. But if I don't see, say I post something tomorrow, right? and it doesn't do well because my last YouTube video that I did, the one that you saw, Spotlight by Jennifer Hudson, that didn't do well. So I think my issue is not letting that discourage me, because when I don't see results that I want to see, it's easy for me to be like, okay, well, then, I mean, just nobody likes it. Okay, so why should I post if nobody really cares for it? Like, if nobody's watching it, it's hard for me to get myself out of that, because it's like, if you liked it, then you know what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but
I get it, but as an artist, you have to realize you're planting seeds, and in order for seeds to grow, you know, surrounded by more seeds, but also nurture it. So you can't talk about what's not happening from other people if you're not managing what should be happening from you for those other people. So you have your song out there. No, I muted it. I muted. It's unmuted now. I had muted. I was just listening while she was talking. That's why I did that. If you are wanting other people to hear it, I would say to you, how often do you share it? I would say to you, how many platforms have you put it on? How many people have you absolutely sent it out to? You know what I'm saying? Only then can you complain about what's not happening. There's a quote that I love. It says, don't complain about the work you're not getting from the effort you didn't put in. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't done the work, I don't know what we're talking about. And it's not a slap in the face. It's just one of those things that say, you know what, you're right. I could have done something different. I could have managed this better. You know what I'm saying? I could have implemented some things. So when you talk about results, you have to say, have you given yourself a shot? And if you haven't, then go back and give yourself a shot. It's never too late. I know people who've worked records for 2 years before it actually caught on. 2 years. They stood by it. Listen, a hit record is always a hit record no matter when it's a hit. Some people you may have developed a sound that takes people a while. Like I placed a record that I did like 10 years ago. Like currently. Like I've always said that some of my stuff is ahead of the game. I know it. And it's a hard place to get comfortable because you're watching your friends and your peers achieve success right now. And for me, you just have to be, part of it's, people say there's a little arrogance to it. And I'm like, yeah, it might be. That I feel like my shit's so dope that it's going to pop when it pop. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's going to pop. That's kind of like my mentality. It's like, as long as I'm doing the work, as long as I'm putting myself in a place where people can see it and be a part of it, then it's going to happen. I know the records are dope. And if it's not, then what you do is either you do what you're doing, you become the artist and create the sound that you want people to jump on, or you find an artist that you can groom with your sound, and then you've created something special like a Billie Eilish.
Ooh.
You know? Yeah. I mean, you love her. One of the greatest things that she did was reintroduce something that I've been always telling people is that it's almost like the Stomp the Yard shit or whatever that movie was called, but it's one band, one sound. Drumline, that's it. One band, one sound. She had one producer, couldn't veer away from what he liked musically, which what complemented what she wanted to do. So maybe that's another aspect of something to look at is finding you a producer. I know you said you work with a guy out here in Atlanta, but maybe you find a producer that is the glass slipper to your Cinderella. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Are you moving something or am I going crazy?
Yeah, no, I'm moving it. I'm adjusting it.
Oh.
I'm adjusting it. She
I
like,
know
how did
she's
I
like
get bigger?
moving.
I got bigger in the picture.
Right.
Yeah, I can manipulate this stuff a little bit. I can do a lot of stuff while we're talking and stuff, just to give people another perspective, keep it entertaining.
I appreciate you talking to me though. Like you've given me a different perspective for sure. Cause I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I know I'm a good singer. Like I can sing, but like I said, I was definitely like stuck in the okay. Well, I'm doing this, but this isn't happening. Okay, well, I'm doing that, but this isn't happening. And I mean, I do have a bad habit of putting stuff on one platform and just like being like, all right, well,
Here I am. Take a look.
YouTube, yeah, right, YouTube. I mean, y'all got a lot of people. Why nobody like? But you know,
You got to
I'm
make
gonna get on
people. You got to. You
platform.
got to. You got to show people. It's funny. It's funny. There was an instance that same night that we went out and Usher tapped me and was telling me what beats he likes and all that stuff, right? I usually, if you ever see me out with Ush, you'll probably see me. I'm in the VIP section a little bit, but I'm not. I hate the crowd. Like I hate that all these people are sucking up and all that kind of stuff. So I'm never there unless it's kind of just to make sure he good. You know what I'm saying? But this time I'm standing outside the VIP, and this girl is tapping me, and she like trying to holler or whatever, and I'm hollering at her, and she like, "Why you ain't treat me special?" And I said, "Well, you haven't done anything to be special. Do something to make me think you're special." You know what I'm saying? That's how you got to treat your records. Your records aren't special until you treat them like they're special. And if they are truly special, then just that little bit of highlighting those records will bring people to the understanding you want them to have. But you got to make them special. If you ain't making the record special, well, I'm going to make them special. If you ain't bouncing on stage to your own songs while you singing them, well, I'm going to bounce out in the audience. I tell performers that all the time. If you don't like you having fun, why they going to have fun?
Stage presence.
Yeah, so for whatever it is you want, why don't you introduce it and become it before you require other people to?
Okay.
All right. This was free because we're live and I do this for everybody else. But my consultations, I usually charge people for consultations to kind of break down the layers and give it to them. But because I hadn't been on live, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I hadn't been on live in about 2 weeks, and I have a community that loves, our conversations on live. They're not heavily music oriented, but they will be in the future. I just realized that music and life, they parallel each other so much that when I talk about music, it brings up these life experiences and life circumstances that I'm like, yo, if y'all really pay attention, all these things dance and play well together. You got this, and you should thank who was that? Cutter, Heavenly Cutter, I think that's what his name is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he was on my live every day.
Yeah, he's an awesome supporter. You need 1,000 of those. 1,000 Heavenly Cutters can help change your whole life and career.
Okay.
So that should be
well,
your.
I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep on keeping on.
Absolutely. And just do it with the kind of intent where you set down some goals. What you should release another record within the next 2 months, or by the end of the summer. Either the beginning of summer, which is meaning you're really intentional about finding a record and a sound, and then end of the month means you found a sound. You probably got 3 or 4 records to choose from. And if you waited till Christmas, then you should have an album done.
Okay.
Just saying.
I think I'm gonna get my 3 or 4 songs and then just pick one out of them.
Yeah, and it should be something that is like, it should really help people understand who you are, where you're coming from, and want to hear something else just like it, slightly different. I don't want to hear in one song, he broke my heart and I can't keep it down and I'm just trying to decide what to do with my life, trying to get my shit right. Oh, he broke my heart and I just can't figure it out. I don't want to hear that. And I want to hear, bitches getting money and getting money online. Yeah, well, the bitches getting money. I'm going to look at you like, what in the hell? Who are you? Schizophrenic? You know what I mean?
Right.
But decide who you are and present that person for 4 or 5 records and see what happens. You want people to be able to buy into you. Oh man, yeah, she got this crazy song where, she went through this with her ex, but she better now, you know what I'm saying? Oh man, she got this other song, yeah, where she really go into detail and her ex I didn't like, man, she went to this other song and I agree with her, man. Some dudes just don't, and then they start feeling like, yo, I know you. You're relatable. I've been through that. I understand where you're coming from. So that's your job. That's your job.
Okay. Hey, what kind of mic is that you have?
This is not my recording mic, but this is a Shure, what is it, 478B, something like that? SM78. Yeah, it's a Shure SM78. They run about $499. You can get it off of from any I think they might be on sale for $399 right now, but you can get them virtually anywhere. I would go online to get the best prices, but they're the same. You know, in terms of if you bought a Sony SM78, you know what I'm saying, you'd be in good shape.
Okay, I'll do that.
But this is not the mic for recording your singing vocals. Like, I don't record with this mic. I have another mic. It's called the Blue Series Mouse. This one costs $5. You can't buy my mic. They don't sell it anymore. Like, I have a vintage mic.
Well, I need the next best.
I don't, so listen, when it comes to microphone purchases, you have to decide what your budget is and then work for your budget, because the microphones that are really special microphones cost like 10 grand. My microphone was $2,000 at the time that I bought it. Now, because it's vintage, it's increased in price. But I also coupled that with a very expensive preamp that was $21.99. You know what I'm saying? Like when I put it together, I bought the pieces I know will stand the test of time. In the position as a up and coming independent songwriter, singer, you need to have a comparable microphone. A comparable computer, something that can hold either Logic or Pro Tools on. Those are two recording DAWs, of course you know that. But DAWs that you can record with a microphone and a preamp. That's all you need as a vocalist to get started.
What's a preamp?
A preamp is what you plug your microphone into, which is going to enhance some of the characteristics that the microphone is supposed to be great at representing. So it's like an exploitation device. Some of them come with compressors, which is a voice limiting technique that allows your voice not to peak. Like, I have a compressor on this right now. No matter how loud I get, it won't get so loud that it's messed up. Like, you can't see it, but there's a red line pushing the volume down as the volume itself is being lifted up. So it's compressing the vocal, and it makes it sound really, really good. Very even tone. Okay. Every record that's out there that's ever been produced has a compressor on the lead vocals. Every last song, I guarantee, every song that's out, there's a compressor on all of the vocals for sure, because the volumes ebb and flow, and you don't want stuff popping out at you like yada, yada. Even when I do that, you can't hear it. It's not as dramatic as if I took the compressor off and did it. It would splat. It'd be like blah. It would sound horrible. Yeah. That's hard to do. Heavenly Cutter said, get a fan base that doesn't want anything in return but your success, that pray for you, not pray against you. That's a very difficult thing to acquire, but I'll tell you how. Short and simple, your consistency will pay off. People want, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, doesn't matter. They want consistency. So the more you show up for your gift, the more your gift will show up for you. Like, I don't know if you heard this kid. You ever heard this kid called Ice JJ Fish?
Yes.
Yeah, he made, the year that he did what he did, he made about $450,000.
Not with something about you, girl. No. But I didn't know. Is it because it was funny?
It was because he was consistent. He did about 5 or 6 songs. All no, she's talking about. He did that shit. It was every record, and so you would go and watch it and pay attention to it because you wanted to hear what he was going to do next. So right. I tell people consistency wins no matter what it is. Consistency being bad is a gift as well as consistency being good. It's how you package bad that makes the difference from how you package good. Good packages itself. Great singers that are consistent show up, you like, wow, they're crazy. Bad singers, they be like, yo, she was off, but they do it with confidence. Like you can't tell Ice JJ Fish, what up, Icy? You can't tell Ice JJ Fish that he wasn't killing it because he felt like he was. And so he did it repetitively to the point where you would go to see what he was going to do next. So for the fan base, your fan base, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or wherever, in order to keep them consistent, you got to be consistent. And some people are good at that. You watch people on TikTok where it's very redundant, but you tune in because even though they're redundant, the atmosphere around them isn't. The commenters, anybody they bring on their lives, that kind of stuff.
Right.
They're different. So there's the variety of those situations. For you, I would tell you any covers that you do should represent the style that you want to portray when you come out with your own work. I would tell you don't do a super ton of covers because then your own songs, when it comes time for you to put something out, guess who they're competing with? Hit records that have already been out. Can't win that. That's where so many, like if I could tell that to so many artists out here who do covers, I'd be like, the reason why you're losing is because the last thing they heard from you was from a multi-platinum Grammy-nominated singer, and you don't have those credentials to go behind what you do. So you're already competing with something that you can't win with. All right? All right. So if you want, DM me your contact. We'll stay in touch or whatnot. And you can keep me posted when you come to the A. And you can and let me hear something new, man. Like in the next month or two, I would love to hear your style of song, whatever that may be. If you lived in Atlanta or you live closer, that's something that, would be a benefit to you, because then I could be like, this is probably what you should be doing. And I'm so good at it, I can tell you melodically on out. Like the last artist I did that with got signed to Empire Records. And that was like last year. Yeah. I built a portfolio of songs around what she was going through right then in her life. Like,
So if I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that was it. So if
I find a beat and like, just say I make a whole song.
I don't do if.
Right.
I don't do if. I don't do hypotheticals.
So when I find a beat and let's say I just make a whole song with it, is it okay if I send it with you to like kind of
I'll check it out.
see how it sounds to you?
I'll check it out. You get a couple opportunities to do that.
Okay, how much you gonna charge me? Because listen, I done said I'm unemployed.
I mean, no, you'll figure that out too. You just say, here, let me throw you this. Like, there's no charge for me reviewing your stuff. You know what I'm saying? Somebody recommended you. I thought that was real dope of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get it.
All right, well, I'm gonna start working.
Please do.
All right, thank you.
All right, this is not goodbye. This is to be continued.
Certainly.
All right, I hope y'all enjoyed that, man. Love you back, Janet. I just wanted to, like, at times, I really forget how much there is to offer when it comes to discussing music business and the industry and the talent that's out there. It's so different. It's so different nowadays because the challenges of being a recording artist now is so different. Like, there are other things to take into consideration. There are other, just there's a lot to be considered, and these artists, they've gone through so much. Thank you so much for that, Heavenly. Thank you for the introduction as well. I'm looking forward to seeing, some things happen for her. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Oh man, thanks, Linda. Linda gave a super thanks on YouTube. I appreciate that. I think that if you guys ever pay attention to me and ever watch me and whatnot, y'all know, man, I have a soft spot for the youth. And the reason being is because we're grooming them to be the next ambassadors for not only our kids, but for this nation. Like, and if we're not sowing back into them all this knowledge that we've amassed over our lifetime, then what are we doing? You have to, you guys have heard me say this time and time again. When you die, you should die empty. You should die empty. You should not die with a whole lot of information. There's no way you shouldn't have not passed it on to somebody else. Somebody else should pick up where you left off, cultivate it even more than you did, and make it more ginormous than it ever could have been. That's your commission. And with what we've gone through in the last couple of years, we should be pranking these kids. We should be making them laugh. We should be educating them. We should be having fun with them, because the stresses of the world are so great now that we've taken that away from them. What up, Al? Fool, what's happening, homie? Yeah, man, you should have been following me, bro. You know, it's been a lifetime of music for us. I feel like we grew up you think about it, man. Ever since we've known each other, and I've known Afua more than half my life. I've known him since he's a brother of mine. You know what I'm saying? We've learned so much. We've been blessed to be around some of the best talent that's ever been out there. Y'all do realize, like, I've worked with, but I've also been associated with some of the greatest people ever in the music industry. You know what I mean? And when you're around those people, if you're not a sponge, if you're not consuming all of that, listen, they're so gracious to give you all of it. That's what's up, Courtney. That's all we can do. I've never asked to be an influencer more so than I've asked to be a thought leader. I just want to change how you think about things. I know I can influence you to do it. You could look at me and be like, yo, I want to do what he doing. Nah, I want you to try to be better than me. Just know I'm not going to make it easy. I'm going to be still trying to get better while you try to get better than me. And that way we both elevate to a place that we didn't know we could ever get to, because we're still on that path. But this knowledge, no matter what you're gifted in, no matter what you're skillful in, this knowledge is not yours to keep. You can't be a knowledge hoarder and have a blessed life. You just can't do it. I said early on, you know, my mentor asked me what do I want. I said I want to be heard by the world. And I didn't know how that was going to happen. At the time, I just thought it was going to be musically. But what I found is that my voice and my conversation and my perspective in my life has so much value in it, alongside of being blessed to be accomplished in music, that it's like, yo, I just want to make sure y'all good. You know what I mean? I just want to say some things that'll make your day brighter. Some things that'll keep you motivated and excited. And today was a Motivational Monday. You guys had an opportunity to experience a live conversation with an individual who's clearly talented and is on her journey. You know what I'm saying? I am tired. I'm about to go take a nap. And it's crazy you know me like that. You know, it's all in the eyes. Let me do that. I don't look so tired now, but I am. It's because I be up. You know what I'm saying? Motivational Monday said, never step on people to get higher. It leaves too many under you to pull you back down. True story. Crabs in the barrel is not where it goes. That has never been a winning strategy. Yeah, you do know. But with that being said, I am going to take me about an hour nap or so, maybe an hour and a half nap, because the cleaners. So every 2 weeks, some people come by and clean the house, and man, they don't have a set time. And today they came at 8:00, and I probably was in some really good sleep too when they came. That's the only part that, you know, I had to get up and move so that they could make the bed and change the sheets and do all that kind of stuff. And so I could have slept on that couch back there, but I was like, let me go live. I am tired. I don't look tired. I am tired. Shoot. You know, I'm tired. I could sleep so good right now. You have no idea. But I gotta take a nap because I'm gonna go to the gym today too. Today is chest and triceps. You know, you don't get a whole lot of opportunities to be tired. You get moments to the ebb and flow, but you got to know when to stick and move. And right now, it's not time to move. You know. Yeah. Her name is powerful. I am enough. So many people need to repeat that to themselves. You know what I'm saying? And it'll help them make some wise decisions. You know, the power of saying, I am enough. with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, and unfortunately, I need to just let her know this is a 2-hour live. I had no intentions of being this live. It was actually supposed to be a conversation about the other situation, but this is how conversations go. They kind of lead different places. I will have to mute the song out, or else it's gonna flag me on the copyright. Just so she knows, Courtney, I'm gonna have to mute it, or it'll flag me on the copyright, and I hate getting flagged. You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, I hope that some of you enjoyed today's conversation. I love to see everybody here. If you aren't following or subscribed to my YouTube channel, that's available for you to do at ICGreen1. But yeah, I'm gonna lay it down. This ain't goodbye. This is to be continued, y'all.